Okay, hi everybody. So we're going to use this tutorial to talk about some of the things you will need to do in your comparison project. One of the items you will need to do is compare two groups about one same variable, such as like number of guns, for example, to compare the number of guns about these two groups. And so that will be relating about the two groups that you would be able to get from your data set. And one thing that stands out in SPSS is the two groups, which we most likely in qualitative variables like this, MAJBYIMP, the principal region of slave purchase. And these two groups will be in string type. String, which means you've got a bunch of words and phrases. And cannot be used directly for comparing the means when you're doing analyze and compare the means. Okay, one sample t-test. The string variable is not accepted. So the first thing we'll need to do is we need to recode this variable MAJBYIMP from a string variable to a numeric variable so that the SPSS can treat it as a number. And so it can tell which one is the group 1, which one is the group 2. Okay. So let's do that in SPSS. And there's one function that says transform. And we're going to say recode into different variables. Do not choose recode into same variables because this is going to overwrite what you have originally. So we're going to recode into different variables. Okay. So let's drag this bigger, and I'm going to say it is the principal region of slave purchase in our example. So I'm going to push this in, and we're going to name this as a new name. Okay, give it a new name. So MAJBYIMP, you can say numeric. Okay, so label is just the numeric numerical value of the principal region of purchase. I do want to emphasize that in the SPSS name, it does not accept space, so make sure you put underscore in between of the two words. Hit change. Okay. So once you hit change, you can see that there's this is an old name and this is going to be a new name. So we just changed the name, but we haven't tell SPSS what's going to be the value of this new variable. So let's do old and new values. Over this function here, we have to manually enter the values and change their names. Okay, change their values. Let me just first move this around to here so you guys can see. So let me move the screen to the right a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to put West Central Africa and St. Helena into group 1. And then the other one would be group 2. Okay. So let me show you my group 1 and group 2 here. So the group 2 will be Southeast Africa and Indian Ocean Islands. Okay. So I'm going to recode those. Okay. So the value, you have to manually enter them. And what appears here needs to match exactly what was originally in SPSS. So West Central Africa, and St. Helena. Okay. Give it value 1. So click add. Second, I have Southeast Africa and Indian Ocean Islands. Okay, notice that this is lowercase, so it matches the lowercase. Value will be 2. Also, do not put any space after the last letter. Okay, so hit add. For all other values, we take it as system missing. Add. Okay, so hit continue. And hit OK. Once you have got this done, it will give you the information saying this is done. And let's go back to the SPSS to see what's the result. Okay, so go back to your original data set and look at the variable view. So the variable view, you should have a new variable coming up, which is this MAJBYIMP numeric. And we have to do something new here, just like what we did previously. First of all, make sure the label is there. So the label has been added when we do the conversion. Oopsie. Okay, but next we understand this variable carries two value and for the two different regions, right? The principal region. So let's add the values. So edit the value. If you just simply click on the cell, you will be getting the three dots. So click the three dots. So the value. We understand there are value 1 and value 2. So let's give a label for value 1. So value 1 is basically for West Central Africa and St. Helena. So hit add. And 2 is Southeast Africa and Indian Ocean Islands. Hit add, hit OK, then you would be getting these two informations if every time when you try to open it. Okay. So next, once you have successfully done this, you'll be able to see a new column being generated. Let me pull this to the very end of my data cell. Okay, you can see this data sheet, you have this new column being generated, which is the numerical representation of the principal region of purpose. So right after this, once you have converted into ones and twos, we can do an independent sample t-test to compare the mean about two groups about one variable that you have picked. What you do here is you go analyze and compare means, and we do independent samples, okay, considering the group 1 as one sample and the group 2 as another group. So independent samples, let me do reset. Now you have a lot of test variable to choose from. You can choose total slaves embarked, you can choose total slaves disembarked, and the crew at first landing of slaves. It really depends on what your interest is at. So suppose I'm doing the total slaves embarked. I can move the test variables over here, and then the grouping variables will just be talking about the variable storing the two groups. So it's the numerical value of the principal region of the purpose, right? And we need to again simply define the groups. So once you define groups, I'm going to say let's having the group of value 1 to be the group 1, so which means it's the West Central Africa and St. Helena. And let's have the values of 2, which is Southeastern Africa and Indian Ocean Islands, to be the group 2. Those have their value 2. So put 2, 1, and 2, hit continue, and hit OK. Okay, once you do this, you will come up with this table here, right? This table. You'll come up with two tables. One is the group statistics, tells you in my sample, in my data, okay. In my data, there are 66 of the West Central Africa and 3 of Southeast Africa and Indian Ocean Islands. And then the second table just gives you the independent sample t-test. It's a result with the t-score and the p-value. So this will be helpful for you to do your comparison project. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you.